Give us a minute, guys. We're going to try this again. That's good. I get it. Yo, all right, guys, we're back again. Sorry for that mix-up. Hopefully, see if you can get in the chat now. I know we had some issues there. The sound should be good, too. Let us know how the mics are. But anyways, just wanted to, again, welcome y'all for the second time now to the Ramblin' Raiders podcast. This is some premium Texas Tech content with the occasional laugh and some questionable takes. And then we got a lot of good takes when it comes to our time spent in the 806. We're a part of the Guns Up Nation Network. Joining me, as always, in his parka, I think I have the lock specialist. He corrected me on the last intro. The screwdriver enthusiast, man. Walk us through that.
Hey, we had a good time in LBK. Friday night, Saturday night, into the night. Just great to be back in the hub city. It's been a long time for both of us. I think 3 or 4 years, respectively.
Yeah.
No, 3 or 4 years, respectively.
4 for me.
It was good to be back and partying down with a huge dub.
Yeah. Oh my God! I got Kyle Umlang already talking trash on one post. He's in his feels this morning about Texas Tech, man. I'll have to go back.
Angry because we beat West Virginia just as bad as they did.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and talk some trash after this episode. Looks like the chat is blowing up. I see Mitch in here. I see Mia. What's up, y'all? Let us know how the sound is. I hope we fix the audio. It's showing green bars right now, so let us know if y'all having problems there. Guys, you can find us on all platforms, right? We're on Apple Pod, Spotify. Duh. Okay, go check those out. Make sure you're subscribed and leaving us a rating and review there. Hopefully 5-star. I mean, we had a 5-star weekend and met some 5-star people.
There you go.
For sure. So I think we deserve 5 stars on this podcast. Let me get this tilted a little bit. I'm a perfectionist, man.
Yeah, it looks like we're good to go.
So it looks like it's good now. But, guys, so Apple Pod, Spotify, our Instagram's at Ramblin' Raiders. Make sure you're following us there. Twitter, at Ramblin' Raiders. And then our Facebook is the Ramblin' Raiders Podcast. Most importantly, though, if you're watching this now, you already know, drop us a sub on YouTube, man. Make sure that you are following on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up button. Leave us a comment if you feel obliged. But that's what we're trying to grow. So make sure you are locked into the Ramblin' Raiders YouTube channel. Dude, it wouldn't be right if we didn't start a live show that we promised at 12, 30 minutes late.
And we have to restart it.
And then we have to restart it because the audio screwed up.
Or the chat, actually.
I mean, the chat. Sorry. Yeah, last time. Now I'm getting my dates mixed up because last time it was the audio. Get that just right. Don't you guys love watching me just come at you on the screen? Last week was audio. This week, it's our chat's messed up. I'm glad we got that fixed. Note to self, I found out what the problem was. But we start late, and we have some classic difficulties having to start over. I mean, that's the Ramblin' Raiders guarantee. That's what we're going to bring to you each and every week is some technical errors. let's just get right into it, man. There's a lot to talk about. Before we get into the actual football action, Lane, we sort of touched on it before we logged off on the last episode. We were back, dude, for the first time in a long time. It was nice being in the 806. It was way too long. We should have went to a game a couple years ago. Matt Wells might have had something to do with that. Just as I get this chat pulled up over here, man, talk a little bit about kind of, instant reaction here. Texas Tech beats West Virginia 48-10, and the boys are back in Lubbock. Man, I mean, what can you say, man? Just an immaculate weekend.
Immaculate weekend. Broadway hadn't changed much. Few new bars that we got to check out.
Yeah. What was that?
A little renovation done to local and PM, it looked like. So that was cool to see. Stadium was great. A lot of fun watching the Red Raiders whip up on West Virginia. It takes you back. I mean, we didn't win a lot while we were there, but that was nice.
All right, so we've got 9 watching. Y'all let us make sure that the audio's good, hit us with a thumbs up if the audio's good quality. And guys, let's get it going, man. Let's get the chat hyped. I mean, we were pretty damn hyped about being back in Lubbock. Here's what I want to say to start us off. I got the chat pulled up here. Lane, once again, for getting that comp, man. We're gonna do some kind of like tile or something, so I know where that comp is at all times. So Miguel's, that's what they were saying. We were bringing it, but once Nick gets in here, he's gonna be disappointed, man, because he loves it when Lane has his computer.
Hey, I'm ready to go, man. I got everything I need pulled up. So
okay, good deal. He's got it on his phone. So look, man, couldn't have asked for a better return trip to the 806. We got to, in order, grab a bite at Caprock Cafe. Queso bacon burgers, still fire. Got to try some Elaine's. I had the was it like the dirty chicken tenders, something smothered in ranch, just, an all-time favorite, straight out of the gate. We spent time with the Ramblin Raiders team in person at Chimmy's. I mean, we logged a couple hours there, too.
A long time. We got there, it was light, and we left, it was dark.
Yeah.
So, that's putting some hours in.
Time, I mean, we were in a time warp, man. It was going quick. Time was elapsing fast. We had so much fun hanging out with Trisha, Pat, Mia, our boy Mason Clark. Shout out to Dewey was in town. We got to meet Davion as well, who was with us hanging out, talking a little Houston high school basketball, which was fun. But hanging out with the team was a great experience. Went to Miguel's later that night, a new bar on Broadway. It wouldn't be a Lubbock trip if I didn't end up on my back.
Jackson hit the ground. It was sweet.
I'm out there busting a dance move. I'm going to fall. I'm going to be, like a turtle when he's upside down on their shell, like on my back. If it doesn't happen at least once, it wasn't a true, Lubbock adventure, true Lubbock trip. So ended up on my back. We did the Broadway shuffle. I'm making sure we check all these off. Met some followers and fans of the show, whether it was on Broadway, whether it was tailgating. We had people coming up to us, recognized us. I got called chef one time, which was really just the highlight of my trip.
It was the reason you went on the trip.
Yeah, I mean, I had to get called chef once. Just to prove all the haters wrong, that like a guy when he puts his mind to it,
one guy does like it,
can be whatever he wants, man. He can be a chef if his little heart desires. So got called chef, which was great. Spent some time with our dad, our uncle, Coach Gator. Saw the Pike Bros.
Went to the Pike Lodge.
Went to the Pike Lodge to hang out with our dad and all his old fraternity brothers, and saw some of their old alumni buddies. So all in all, great weekend, man. And on top of that, Texas Tech dominates in. Debatably, you take out Murray State, debatably their best game of the season. Is there a correlation there? Is there a correlation there with the Ramblin Raiders being back in town, Joey McGuire era, best game of the season, Big 12 play at least? I think there's something written in stars there.
This one, I mean, I will say West Virginia, in my opinion, I said it on the pregame podcast, but they're the worst team in the Big 12, so I'm glad Texas Tech was able to step up, stomp them in this one. We needed this type of win moving forward to go through, a very gettable stretch of wins or of games for us to win. So this was a great step in that direction to winning some of those next pivotal games.
Also, I got to say, seeing the guys at Tailgate Talks, make sure you're following them. They do an amazing job with the content that they put out for Texas Tech. They're a part of that Texas Tech kind of content group that I think we align with, which is just having a good time, not taking ourselves too seriously, but still putting out premium Texas Tech content.
That's right, man. Texas Tech fans, we're all opinionated. We all have our own opinions, but it's all about having fun, getting together, talking some Tech football, Tech basketball, whatever, and that's what those guys do. So it was awesome to see them.
That's what Brooks and Dustin are all about. We shared many a drink, many a shot over at Local, doing some people watching on Broadway. It was great. Also want to give a shout out to Jonathan Kraut. Came in there, recognized us, called me chef, so I immediately had to buy him a beer. The chef giveth, and that's it. The chef giveth picks. Sometimes taketh money if those picks aren't hitting, but we were giving out.
You don't actually benefit from taking that money though. Just your patrons lose money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I taketh their money and give it to said bookie. Sometimes, not these last 3 weeks because we've been absolutely scorching hot. So, right now, just giveth, man. It was great. We were buying shots, sharing drinks with everybody. Lane got called out for drinking his screwdriver a little too slow. I thought he did a great job.
I've never been a fast chugger. I never claimed to be. I just enjoy drinking alcohol, so I don't know.
Hey, you tried hard. That's all that matters. And what was more impressive, he demonstrated how to do the scoop and score. That's the other thing that we missed from our intro that never was.
What's funny is there wasn't that much ice in that cup.
That was my point, is that it was more impressive that you scooped and scored with 2 ice cubes. So, I mean, you're still looking at a pretty stout drink of vodka and OJ. Lane was able to knock it down flat.
Just trying to have some fun.
That's all you do, man. Just try to have a good time. Okay, so great weekend. Lane, real quick highlight for you, man. I told you mine. Met a chef follower. How about for you, man? If you could pick one highlight. Me falling on my back, any of it, man.
Man, I don't know. I enjoyed it all. I mean, I think getting there and getting straight to Chimmy's is the highlight. We go airport, Capstone, Chimmy's. That right there just set the tone for the whole weekend, so I'll just stick with that. Had a blast there, getting ready for the game the next day. And then we were rocking on Saturday.
Miguel's, everybody was loving Miguel's, man. We had a great time with everyone who was there with us, the Ramblin Raiders team. Lane's right, man. It's hard to beat when you go get a good hunk of beef in you at Cap Rock and then you transition straight to Chimmy's. So I promise we had to get all that off our chest because we had so much fun being back. We put out some great content, got a lot of good ideas for some upcoming segments. And, man, it just felt so good to collaborate with Tailgate Talks, see some of our Guns Up Nation contacts, and have a great time in the LBK. So let's get to the game. That's what people want to hear about, man. Whoever stayed put. Actually, we got more people watching now after hearing that recap of Lane and I's time, the Ramblin Raiders' time in Lubbock. Now let's get to what y'all really want to talk about. That dominating 48-10 performance in the Jones. Felt good to be home, dude. I mean, 2 weeks against 2 really quality teams on the road. You get a bye week to kind of rest,
prepared.
get prepped, and then, dude, Neil Brown and Graham Harrell just
struggled.
Didn't see, like a freight train, didn't see what hit them, man.
Yeah, our defense really showed out. I believe 4 takeaways, which were huge. Critical moments, a couple of them as well. So defense played great. Offense was clicking and getting the job done. So it looked really smooth. We made 6 fourth-down conversions, so that's always nice too. But it was a great, clean game overall.
Brooks, what's up, man? Thanks for joining in the chat, man. We had a great time hanging out. Let's do it again, baby. Hey, 2 weeks, the countdown's on.
TCU.
Excuse me, Lane and I have a lot of planning to do, but we're going to get that tailgate rocking and rolling, and we're excited to see all of y'all there. So great seeing you, Brooks. Yeah, man, as Lane said, just a great game. Really got a good head of steam early, which was one of our points in last week's RIP show was if we jump out on them early. West Virginia's not a come from behind. Well, I'll say they've proven they can stay in the fight and battle, but when you really dog them and get out on them pretty early on, as UT did and as Texas Tech did, it's tough for them to come back at home. On the road. And so we jumped on them early, man. This team, my biggest takeaway, kind of instant reaction before we get into kind of the major hitters here, this team's going to be dangerous down the back half of the season. I mean, we played a complete game. Not just Baron Morton lighting it up or Taj Brooks going off. I mean, we had an all-around complete game. Special teams looked good. Defense looked good. Secondary looked good. It was just a dominant performance against a team coming off debatably their biggest win of the season against Texas Tech's opponent on Halloween weekend in the Butt Bowl. Dominating this. Watch out, guys. I mean, I hate to kind of knock on wood. I don't want to. I'm a little superstitious and don't want to jinx us or anything. A little stitious. I don't want to jinx us or anything, but this team is capable. I'll just say that they're capable of winning out. We're capable of winning 9 games. Obviously, TCU on the road, going to be a massive challenge. I think we'll be in it. It's going to be tough. Iowa State is good enough to give you problems on the road. But when I look at our home schedule, man, Baylor, extremely difficult. Can't overlook them. But, Tech's a 2.5-point favorite right now. Kansas.
At home. I like our home games. I really like our home games.
As I called earlier in the year, I think that was a chef hit or something. Kansas was going to slide. They are. They have been. Granted, I know they lost their quarterback.
Granted, the over 2.5 wins for the season was an absolute lock.
The dumbest lock of the year. I gave somebody else the credit for that, and I feel terrible about it. You know who put that out there?
It was a big pick.
None other than the orbiting shot specialist, Big Pick Joe. Dude, he called that, and it was actually in our football season preview. We need to throw him some kind of party. Lock. A celebration, dude. He tried to tell y'all to hammer. He said, put your mortgage on it. Kansas over 2.5. So, KU at home, I think Tech's got a good chance against them. They're kind of sliding now in the back half when they get into tougher, conference play. And then OU hasn't looked good all year, guys. I don't know if it'll be easy, but I think Tech will be a 10 point, favorite in my mind, at least going into that game. So, very winnable games down the stretch. This team is really bowed up. I mean, they've played a complete game. They're fired up. They're bought in. Excited, man.
Yeah. So my biggest takeaway, the most important thing I think we saw this game was Joey McGuire getting out to a fast start, 14-0 start in the first half, and then I believe a 14-0 start in the second half as well. You put those two together, you're not going to lose many games. If you can jump on teams, first half by 2 scores, and then you put another 2 on them to start the gate in the second half, you're not going to lose many games. So really important to see because we haven't been able to do that besides the Murray State game, really. So
True.
To watch Tech do that against a big Power 5 conference opponent was really, really good to see. And you're right, we played a complete game.
I don't know about y'all. I kind of like watching Aaron Morton throw it around a little bit.
Oh, he slings it.
I have a good time. Now, I know he missed some throws, didn't hit them all, but as a redshirt freshman, love what I'm seeing out of Aaron Morton. T-shirts coming soon, NIL coming soon. I don't know. We'll see. Had to throw that out there. But looking down the chat real quick, guys, before we get into some more points. Tailgate, good time. Need more 3-loss teams. KSU, OSU own the head-to-head. Need more 3-loss. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna have to get some movement. I mean, it's outside of Tech's control. They can win out, and they're still going, like you said, need Kansas State and Oklahoma State to drop a few. But we'll get into kind of that.
That's neither here nor there. We need to control what we can control, which is winning out and putting a good, first year together with Joey McGuire would be.
I see.
Be just as great.
Renee, Renee was answering Mitch's question. What's Tech's Big 12 championship appearance scenario? So yeah, we're outside looking in. I'll be perfectly blunt, man. You can't drop 2 games like that early on. I mean, they went out. They give themselves a fighting chance. But as Renee was pointing out, you're going to need some help from some other teams here. TCU looking stout. Texas now kind of right in that window with Texas Tech, even though we own the head-to-head. It's going to be interesting to see how things unfold down the stretch. If we can win 7 or 8 games in year 1 of Joey McGuire's tenure, incredible. Praise. I mean, hallelujah, dude. That would be incredible.
We start a streak that Mike Leach had of going to a bowl game every year. How about we just start with that? Then once we get that going, we'll see what happens down the road.
It would be nice to feel that confident going into after year 1 with a head coach and knowing that you're getting recruits and knowing that it's going to be sustainable. Okay, so here are my kind of major hitters, big points that I took away sitting there. Not overly hot. That Lubbock wind was blowing, but with the sun in your face, Lane and I both got a little coloration this weekend. We colored up as we like to do in Vegas, coloring up. Lane and I colored up out there in the sun, sitting over in the end zone. We were right under the jumbotron. It was good seats, good time. Had some characters around us throwing down, partying.
Yeah,
lot of fun, man. It happened to be some frat bros, so that's. Just take that for some of our listeners. Make sure you take that with a grain of salt. But those guys were cool, really, good. Some good Deweys, man.
Great atmosphere in the stadium.
Yeah, not a sellout.
It ended up being a little bit of a blowout, which a lot of fans predicted, I think, and so people started making their way out to celebrate that win that was already about to happen. So, but it was still rocking atmosphere in the first half. It was great
for 2 3-3 teams, midday game when, like I said, it's not overly hot, but the sun's still out and can kind of get at you a little bit.
It's pretty full.
It was good. I'll say it was solid, man. It wasn't a sellout. It was a great atmosphere though. So that goes to my first point here. Texas Tech appears to be a different beast at home this year, undefeated. Just like basketball went 18-0 or whatever it was last year at home. Right now, Texas Tech undefeated, some huge wins, close wins at home. They seem to be a different beast. Lane, in your opinion, already are we seeing signs of, or is it too premature? Are we already seeing signs that Joey McGuire has created that dangerous atmosphere back in the Jones that we used to see back in the Leach days, the early 2000s? Does it have that feel to it again of it's going to be a dangerous place for opponents to come play?
I mean, it certainly has the feel. It is only year one, though. I mean, we've won some big games at home. Few more to go. We got Baylor at home. This is a big one, night game in the Jones. So here's another test for Joey McGuire. But it feels that way, but it might be a little too premature to say because this is only year one. So I think there's definitely something changing in this program from our previous coaches. We're moving in the right direction, but let's ride it out.
Yeah, we'll see. I think we have a good chance. This weekend's going to be very telling. You win this one, I think you have a really good shot at going undefeated at home this year. Knock on wood. Real quick, I was laughing. Davion's comment, Mia was the character next to me in the game. So me and Lane had some characters around us, and Davion had some characters around him. Hey, there's always, when you're in the Jones, you look to your left, you look to your right.
Around everywhere.
There's characters all over the place, but here's the thing. You love all of them, man, because they're wearing that, for the most part, that double T, and they're having a good time. So a lot of fun. But, yeah, I'm with you, Lane. Let's see how it plays out. It does seem to already feel, because I remember, man.
People feared coming to the Jones.
Well, and I was going to go, when I was at Texas Tech, people didn't. I mean, literally,
enjoyed it.
There were home games that we went to where people were leaving at halftime in the Kingsbury era, even not all the time, but early on, there were just times when that you could see that dangerous kind of element slipping away, that home field advantage slipping away. Matt Wells, it was pretty much obsolete across the board, but I can already tell you from my time when I transferred into Texas Tech to now, I had been to a lot of games and I got to see, I saw the transition of it sort of, again, shifting away from being that pretty, ruckus, tenacious home field advantage, that environment, to now it felt a little different with Joey McGuire. I'm excited for the future. I think that he's starting to change the momentum, change the vibe when it comes to playing in Lubbock. We're definitely going to get to see what that's like for a night game, Halloween weekend against an in-state
Tech by a million.
Well, I call them rival loosely. An in-state opponent that you do enjoy playing because they're another Texas school in Baylor, the Butt Bowl. Going to be really fun to see how that shakes out. Also, Joey McGuire sure as hell doesn't mind going for it on fourth down when he's at home. I would love to get the stats from U of H, UT, and now West Virginia.
6 and 7 for West Virginia.
But for West Virginia, 6 out of 7. I mean, and funny enough, the one we didn't get, I was really wanting to kick the field goal, take the points. But hell, when you're that hot.
The one that we did get, though, on the QB sneak, you were sitting there saying, I don't know about that one, too. Hey, man.
I will defend it. That was lucky as shit.
Yeah.
That definitely should have gotten blown up. I don't know how they got it through, but
we rewatched the game.
But we did.
We rewatched the game, and I think we got screwed on the spot.
Oh yeah.
I think there's an argument to be made. We should have converted on third down. So
yeah, which ironically enough, Tech has a terrible third down conversion rate because they're always getting it on fourth down instead. But it's just like in roulette or something, man. When you're hot, you're riding black or red. You're gonna let it ride, and we did. Again, I was just because we had really gotten kind of backed up and had, I think, a penalty, and it was one of those scenarios where you're in the red zone. Trey Wolf's perfect on the day. Just take the points. But we didn't. It didn't matter in the end because our defense held. That's something that I'm sure Joey McGuire calculates when he's got his sheet out, going through his data and analytics chart. So definitely not afraid to go for it at home. And that's something that's bode well for us so far. It seems like a different environment, guys. I'm excited about the rest of our home schedule this year. Another big point for me: 17 points off turnovers. Man, that was Tech's secondary. That was Tech's secondary's best game of the year. They were absolutely lights out in this game. Kind of late, with that pick going into the half, and then the second half they were just dominating. What's his name? JT Daniels in that receiving core for West Virginia. really stepped up. And then not only that, but we converted off those turnovers. That was a big difference maker in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. We converted off turnovers. We jumped on them early. Everything was so smooth. It was just a clean game. Defense got stops when they needed to. Offense put in touchdowns to bury West Virginia. I mean, there's not much more you can ask for from this game. It was just clean all the way around.
Yeah. No, man, it was good. And now I want to get into, because I just saw my last point was 6 of 7 on fourth downs. We don't need to hammer that anymore. It's it's something that we've become accustomed to. We know with Joey Maguire, when you get to that midfield range, he's going to roll the dice. Man, I thought Mike Leach swung his sword and that he gave us heart palpitations back in the day. Joey Maguire said, "Hold my beer, let me one up that and trump that," and he definitely has.
Well, it's this new era. There's a lot of teams that have kind of started to follow that trend of this analytical game where the numbers show that if you go for it here and it all adds up, this is the time. It's a go play. So.
They go for it more.
Yeah, it's across college football. A lot of teams are kind of following suit with that. So
to an extent, yeah, I will say Coach McGuire.
Does it the most.
Yeah, he does it the most for sure because I actually saw, and this is going to be an interesting tidbit for this week's matchup against Baylor. And then I want to get to Mitch's comment in the chat because I think it's a really, really good one. But Texas Tech leads the nation in fourth down conversions, attempted conversions. Going for it. Number 2 team, Baylor Bears. So you're going to see two teams that have nothing to lose that are going to go for it. A lot of the times it's going to be an aggressive style of play. You got 1 and 2 in the nation in going for it on fourth down.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, Aranda and Joey Maguire have history together at Baylor, and I'm sure, they've had a lot of conversations about those analytical and going for it on those fourth downs. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch, a lot of action in Lubbock come Saturday night.
Yep, it's going to be fun. Mitch, our boy Mitch, who, by the way, is if you're a UT fan out there that comes across our channel, our podcast, go to Mitch's page and just be like Mitch, man. He is honestly he's a lot better than Tech fans are in their own right when it comes to Texas Tech sports. He's one of the more level-headed fans. He comes at it from a realistic perspective. Mitch, so glad you're tuning in, man. We love interacting with you on Twitter. Whenever I get deep in the weeds in some of these battles with UT accounts and UT fans, Mitch is always the voice of reason. Mitch comments, that win tied the all-time series between Tech and West Virginia at 6 apiece. And I think there's something to be said about that because, man,
pitiful.
Well, I'll tell you what.
West Virginia's been good in the past.
They have, and I'll tell you what's interesting to me is that Dana Holgorsen owned Texas Tech.
He owned Cliff Kingsbury.
He owned Cliff Kingsbury when he was at West Virginia. I want to say we lost 5 out of the 6 years.
I'm not sure. Did Cliff ever beat West Virginia?
He did.
He beat him once on the road.
We beat him once on the road his first year, and then I don't think we beat them again. Now, granted, they did hit like a 50-something yarder to beat us in Lubbock one year. We missed 3 field goals in West Virginia. I mean, we had our opportunities with Cliff, but Dana Holgorsen owned Cliff Kingsbury. Since Dana Holgorsen's been at U of H, he has not beat Texas Tech once.
He owned Cliff Kingsbury is who he owned, but he had his number for sure. But
interesting.
When was the last time we lost to West Virginia? Matt Wells kind of had West Virginia's number.
We are on a 4-game win streak against the Mountaineers.
Yep. So Matt Wells had his number, plus Joey seems to continue that trend.
I saw somebody had the audacity on Twitter to put, West Virginia should never be losing to a program like Texas Tech like this. I
4 years in a row.
I stayed away from it, but I was like, buddy, y'all lost 4 years in a row to us. I think you need to start looking internally at your guy leading the parade because Neil Brown, he ain't that guy, man. He ain't that guy, pal. Or what is it? You're not that pal. Or
you're not that guy, pal.
You're not that guy. He's not that guy, pal. And he thinks he is. And I mean, Graham Harrell's sitting there going like, but why not me?
Whoever Neil Brown thinks he is, I am.
I am. Let me run the show. It was cool having Graham back in the 806 as well. What was my last point I was going to make on that? Oh, yeah, 4 in a row. And not only that, but let's not remember the one team Matt Wells owned. And notoriously our worst 2 in 5 games, 2.5 year stretch we've had maybe ever. No, probably not ever. But damn near down there in the bottom of the barrel with Matt Wells, beat West Virginia every year.
Yeah, he consistently beat West Virginia, which is
and to our Mountaineer brethren, we'll leave you.
Do that with what you will.
We'll leave you with that. Okay, here we go, guys. Players just are big performances that settle in. There's a lot of them here that we want to go over. I'm going to start with offense. Baron Morton. He didn't quite have the game that Lane and I predicted on the Rip last week, but he was pretty damn close. 325 yards with 2 TDs in the air. 0 turnovers is a big factor to consider in that. Love what I see him doing. At the very end, we're going to touch quickly on the quarterback situation with all three guys cleared to play now, but Lane Barron Morton, big game.
Yeah, big game. No turnovers, you're right, is so critical there. I mean, hell, he didn't have the big 400-yard game that we said he was going to have, but he threw for over 300 and 2 tutties. It's huge. He played a clean game, no turnovers. I will take that all day long.
Next, guys, hold on. What time is it? Can you tell me what time it is, dude?
It's Taj time?
It's Brooks time, baby. His best game of the year. I have to go back and check stats. I want to get a video of Tucker. Our boy Tuck came through to he's checking in, saying wait, tell me about the game. Tell me about.
He's getting screwed by the emblem.
I know the sign there, but listen here, guys. Taj Brooks, what an absolute beast, man! On Saturday, scored 2 touchdowns. First two touchdowns of the game. Got so excited I couldn't even spit it out there, and compiled 107 yards on the day. It's so nice knowing we have 2 legit threats in the backfield this season. Pick one of them, man, because they can both go off.
Yeah, I mean, Sarajic had a great touchdown where he broke a couple tackles, stretched it out, stretched it out to the sideline, and was able to get in. So it was good to see both of them get a touchdown each. Brooks with 2. So yeah, running backs looked good. I mean, who else do you want to talk about? Everybody on the team?
So we're gonna leave it at Brooks having a huge game. Xavier White was my big. I mean, there's a ton of receivers that just overall had 30, 40 yards. Big play here. Tight ends played really well.
Had a couple of huge clutch catches.
Huge catches, 4th down conversions. But no, Xavier White, man, in the absence of Miles Price, has been electric, dude. He stepped up in a big way. Like I said, a lot of receivers had a good game all around. You're going to see that in a Zach Kittley offense. They're going to get the ball out to multiple guys. But X factor here, 139 yards. X factor, Xavier White.
12 receivers
had 139 yards.
12 receivers made a reception, so I mean,
crazy.
Really spreading the ball around, which is you love to see.
I was trying to play on the he's an X factor, Xavier White. Those are those questionable takes that I reference at the beginning of every episode. Look, he had that impressive touchdown run. Lane, silly guy, was in the bathroom, missed it.
I was getting food actually.
Are you going getting a nice glizzy? But yeah, dude, he makes an awesome throw by Morton. He breaks on it just right, makes a cutback, takes it the rest of the way to the end zone. 139 yards, as I said on the game, that impressive touchdown. He stepped up big, man, these last 2 weeks without Miles Price.
Absolutely. Yeah, both games really he stepped up in that absence. But yeah, this offense is going to see a lot of success when you see that many people make receptions. I believe it's 12. Moving forward, if we can continue that, keep spreading that ball around, look out for our home games. And, I mean, possibly TCU on the road. Who knows?
Sorry, guys. I got to get the reels going, do a little bit of live chat inception here. Defense, it's no shocker, man. Again, that while the Ramblin' Raiders were in town, let's touch on our few defenders that had a great game. While the Ramblin' Raiders were in town, guess who went off?
The boy Muddy.
Our guy, Muddy Waters. He had his best game of the year with 7 tackles. He had 7 tackles on the game, led the team with those 7 tackles, and they were all solo, 3 of them being for a loss. Muddy Waters was all over the field on Saturday.
Yeah, he had a great game. It's just, sad he didn't get a pick.
I know, man.
It would have been a real complete game.
Could have had just the trifecta there.
But no, he played great.
Yeah. So, yeah, again, man, it's, not only just leading the team in tackles, but the fact they were all solo and almost half of them were for a loss. That's incredible. Guys, our secondary, I'm just going to name them all, I'm going to name the 3 guys with picks because every one of them deserves a shout-out on this week's recap. Malik Dunlap, Rashad Williams, Taylor Demerson. I mean, all these guys. The Rabbit, man, he was scat quick back there, making great reads.
One hell of a catch in the end zone for him.
God, that was awesome. I mean, I think I saw the headset come off and
Zach Killy goes. He's probably going both ways.
Zach Killy looked over at Tom Brown and goes, "Dude, can I get him on my side of the ball?" I mean, that was just an exceptional grab by Taylor Demerson, dude. What a great catch. The hyphenated last name. I got to leave the first name off if they're gonna go throw 2 last names at me. Dude balled out, played really well, and each of these guys came away with an interception. Keep in mind. These were not easy picks either, as Lane just pointed out. Great catches.
Yeah, and I'll say this, Rashad Williams has had 2 big games back-to-back. He played really well against Oklahoma State. He's continued that right into the West Virginia game, so he's starting to get rolling, and He's looking really good.
Last but not least, cannot leave off the specialists. All right, we consider ourselves a couple specialists as well. I don't want to disregard the specialists on this team. Special teams had a great game.
Wolf.
Trey Wolf was perfect on the day. I think it was 5 extra points, 2 field goals that should never go without being stated when a guy's perfect and he gets a lot of action like that. And a guy who hasn't had a lot of action because we go for it a lot on 4th down, Austin McNamara was looking like his old self in this game. Had a 65-yard punt.
One bomb of a punt.
That 65-yard punt that buried West Virginia deep at that time on their side of the field, right where Lane and I got a good glimpse of it. I mean, he absolutely skied that one. Shout out to our special teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Looked great. Great job all around.
Okay, last but not least, and guys, before we pose this last question, I really want to get the chat going on this one because I think it's an interesting thing to kind of mull over here. Remember, if you haven't already, drop us a sub. We're really excited that we've gotten to 300. We're at 303, I believe, now. So, hit that bell. Drop us a sub if you haven't. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Also, check us out on Apple Pod, Spotify. This episode will be available on Apple Pod and Spotify. It looks like our sound is better, so I feel confident putting it out on those platforms. And make sure you hit us with that thumbs up. I see we have 8 watching, or we had 11 watching earlier. Hit us with that thumbs up. Leave a comment if you feel the need to. Oh, look, there you go. One more.
If you so choose it.
If you so choose it. Look, one more subscriber right there. Last but not least, Lane, who do you start at QB now that all 3 are healthy? It's kind of on everybody's mind. Tyler Shuck cleared to play at last. They cleared him for blast off, even though Aaron Morton's already in flight right now.
And
what do you do?
Here's
what
the
do you
answer.
do, man?
It's because Bryn Morton's already in the air. He's already in flight.
Tucker.
I think you stick with him until he starts having issues.
Sorry, go ahead. I got to get Tucker up here,
until
man.
he starts having issues. I think you ride with Baron Morton. He's proven that he can lead this team to get a lot of wins. So I think you ride with Morton. That's my answer.
Oh no, he's down, dude. He's down bad right now. He's not having it. I wanted y'all to get a good glimpse of our third co-host on this episode, but yeah, I'm with you, Lane. At the bottom of at the end of the day, bottom line, and it was kind of the same scenario with Donovan Smith earlier after beating U of H, after beating UT. It was, how do you sit him down when he's winning? Then he goes out on the road, has kind of a average game against Kansas State, some good things, some bad things. It was enough for the coaches to then put Morton in against Okie State. With the way he's played off of a performance like that against West Virginia, I just don't, unless you see something crazy in practice, or unless in the offseason Tyler Shuck showed you he was that dominant, then I don't see how you sit Baron Morton down. Now, could it be a tight leash? Sure. I mean, the guy's a freshman, right? He's a redshirt freshman. If he goes in there, throws a pick, has a couple, has a rough go, I think you got Shuck waiting in the wings pretty quickly. But at the end of the day, the other thing you got to consider, guys, the future, right? Yep. Tyler Shuck, redshirt. I don't know if he's going to get a medical. He's a junior, senior-ish. His future is a little cloudy, a little uncertain. I hope we keep Donovan Smith. I do. I want him to stay at Texas Tech. I want him to be there. Here's the reality of college football nowadays, guys. When you have a dude who's as capable, who's as solid as Smith is, start a couple games, then get benched. The trend we see in college football these days is that's kind of a sign of, I'm going to go see where I can get playing time elsewhere. Again, we're not advocating for that. I hope to God he stays at Texas Tech, stays in that Red Raider uniform. I have loved watching him ball out for Texas Tech. If Morton continues to have success and looks like the clear starter in the future,
yeah, he's gone.
He's probably gone.
Yeah, another thing you got to remember with Shuck, though, you never know how a guy's going to come back, off an injury. This is happening pretty fast. He just had that, shoulder plate put in on the AC joint. So, you never know how a guy's going to react to that. Hopefully he comes back and he's stronger than ever. But I think right now it's just a safe play to ride with Morton.
Air Morton, man. He's the guy. He's going to be our starter against Baylor in the Butt Bowl.
There you go.
Look at that, man. Just another great reel that you guys are about to see if you follow us on Twitter. So let's go through the comments here at the end. Morton is playing well. He needs to start. Agreed. Start Morton. Shuck second. As much as I love him, Smith third. Mia gets it. Heisman formation with all 3.
That's going to be something. Hey. I really want to see it just to see what kind of freaking play they run off of it. And we're expecting some kind of triple pass, double option, throwback. But we'll see.
Dude, I love it, man. Put them in. Hey, those, honestly, with how athletic all 3 of those guys are, you could get creative and do some squirrely stuff back there with all 3 of them in the Heisman formation. All right, I'm going to cue us up. Any last remarks, Lane? Just about Lubbock.
Great time there in Lubbock. Now let's go take it to Fort Worth in 2 weeks.
That's right, man. I don't want to look ahead. Let's see. Tim Morton brings the intangibles of a young leader. The team actually believes they can win and do. That computer is so sushi. Dude, yeah, I told you when Nick got back in here, he was going to be sad that Lane was missing his comp. Don't worry, he was able to come through.
Talking about your computer, sushi, man.
Whoa, this computer's got me. Actually, it's my work computer, so you can call it sushi all you want. All right, here we go. James, good for everybody to join. Again, guys, thanks. Drop us a sub. Hit that like button. Also, stay tuned because I'm going to talk with Lane after this. I got a little idea brewing for a Halloween weekend in H-Town for our Red Raiders in the Houston area.
We're going to turn your townhouse into like a haunted house and watch the game all at the same time?
Well, so my idea that I had is now put aside. That's the new announcement that we're going to make. But stay tuned. We might have a little Halloween special announcement coming your way later. Lane, do you have something else you're about to say?
No, just have a good week. Rest of the week, I guess join us. What, is today already Tuesday? Yeah, join us tomorrow for the RIP for a little pregame action. We look forward to it.
And I think we kept this under an hour, dude.
Wow.
Can you believe that? Tucky, here. I'm going to do – let me see your phone real quick. This is how – I mean, look at this, man. This is –
I mean,
I'm getting a little bit crazy here. Kind of like I was at Miguel's on Saturday night when I ended up on my back. Can't wait to destroy my liver with y'all again in 2 weeks. Absolutely, dude. Davion, you better be in Fort Worth. All y'all better come out in Fort Worth to celebrate. Here, get it on. Oh, yeah, I got your snap. Okay. With that, Lane, for like the 8th time, man. Final remarks.
Have a good week. Keep your guns up.
Wait,
as
no,
always.
no,
Jesus,
no.
I'm going to have to say it all over again. All right.
No, stop what you're doing. This is the technical difficulties you don't get with anybody else, y'all. No other platform is going to give you this the struggle week in and week out to figure out how to use technology. Bluetooth. There it is. There she is. Tucker, man, I can't believe he's so camera shy. He's just sits there and then he's always out whenever the camera's on him.
All right, there we go. Hey, enjoy the rest of your week. Guns up as always. Wreck 'em.
Hey, let's get ready for that tailgate in Fort Worth. But before that, little inception here. Before that, man, we're going to be throwing down for the Butt Bowl. Get ready for it. Keep your guns up. Let's have a good week, baby. We out. I love it. Mia, they can say a lot of things about us, Ramblin' Raiders, but they can't say we aren't real. Hey, what you see is what you get, and let me tell you, we ain't afraid to tell you how we feel either, baby. Love that. Davion, I got a text message coming your way. Keep that.